Hello, Opera Omnia. This is Bishop again with another DFFOO Lufania run. This one took me a little bit of time because I was actually playing off behind the scenes because I was trying to find a team that didn't have core or synergy that I could get everything to work. And every now and then I would find something that would start to work, but then I would screw something up. Boss would obliterate me, something along the lines of this. But kind of in all that experimentation, ran into something cool here with this, where if I stack a bunch of debuffs, it's going to allow me to really get through those heavy defense spikes. So instead of starting on the splash screen, unfortunately here, I'm starting here because I had to actually reset this because beforehand A was in the turn order right behind B, so that was an instant wipe. I had no shot there. So this is a reset, and I'm actually pretty proud of the way this one turned out with this. So I've got Garland, Friend, and Shiva, and those are going to be important for later. So I'm going to start here with Kurosami's LD, to take care of the orb here with this first one. I know I'm not going to get any damage here, but I just want to get the ice in peril. And then, so the Italian call takes the brave away, so I get the gravity effect that I need here for this. And that's what I'm really going to like about this, is that's the only gravity effect I'm going to need. So as you can see here with her LD, I go ahead and break the defenses. I'm going to throw Jack on here right away because I want to make sure I get that defense down buff. So at this point, I've got actually 3 debuffs on that will lower defense, and I'm going to get Jack's eventually to the point where it's solid here. And so since I've still got what I'm looking for here, now again I'm just trying to get them. All right, so the initial plan was get the orb taken care of and then get to about 69% and get through that heavy defense spikes. Like I said before, this is a setup phase. Get the debuffs on, set up all our characters. Italian for the gravity to be able to break the defense. Now it's just kind of spamming skills. Now what I was doing here is I was actually focusing on B because I wanted to separate A and B a little bit so that I could let A get a turn. And then so that this way, when I came back in with Kurosami's debuff, it could get, or I would be able to put 5 stacks of Hiroya on to maximize all that. At this point, I kind of realized, I was like, wait a minute, I'm not, as far back as A was, he was never going to get a turn for that to really be likely. So I went ahead and kind of changed my philosophy here, made sure I didn't blow up the orb, and started kind of working both of them here at the same time, because at this point I'm just realizing that neither one of them are going to get a turn. So I'm just kind of alternating here in bringing them both down kind of equally to try to get rid of the orb generally at the same time. I wasn't too concerned here with the orb. I had plenty of room for that. I don't know if I get down here. Yeah, no, this one should get rid of the orb on both of them. Yeah, so there goes the orb. And so at this point with Iroha, really she's here for the brave damage and the brave refund, retention, whichever term you like to use, because I got to say, I think this might be the 4th or 5th time I have used Iroha in a Lufania. I got to say, I really like her. I know she has her weaknesses, but just that extra brave damage, to have that little extra oomph when you're not using synergy characters, I do think goes a long way. And as we're going to see here, I'm getting ready to put B under 70%, so I'm going to get my second defense spike here, and this is where, after the launch, The 3 defense down debuffs really play a role. As you can see here, 75k Brave. Watch what happens here with this first one as I'm attacking. So that's Seifer ZX. As you can see, I took that thing down about, let's say, 45%. I mean, that's 30k Brave on that thing where a lot of groups are hitting one. So kind of lucked into this one at first when I was running this with Bart's when I thought I needed the gravity. And as you can see here with this, now with the LD, or by using Garland's LD, as you can see, I wiped that, the defenses are going down right away. So it was a way I found to not have to rely on gravity or defense ignore. It's a nice little trick, and I'm sure other people have found it. I kind of lucked into it when, like I said, I was doing the Bart's runs and I was anticipating using Bart's to get rid of it. But I just didn't realize that this amount of defense would start wearing them down entirely. So at this point, I'm kind of working on, all right, let's get them down as close to 50% as we can and kind of activate the orb. I'm starting to think, okay, because I planned on bringing Garland in, or the Garland friend in for Seifer. That was my idea, is like just replace one debuffer with another, keep Iroha in for the Brave damage and the Brave retention. And as I'm just kind of working on it here, and like I said, just kind of piecemealing it all together. And it's kind of around this point when I start saying to myself, you know what? I don't even know if I'm going to need the Garland friends, because I was trying to say, okay, is it time to set this up? And this was why I kind of delayed, and that's when I made the decision. You know what? Let's just, I've got a lot of S1. That'll multi-delay, or that'll AoE delay. I'm getting a lot of damage here. And I decide to go ahead and just go for it here. And just start making a bunch of big damage gains and see if I can really do it. So at this point, everything's kind of really looking good. I'm working on B. I was hoping to get them both down under 50% at the same time. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite work out that way. I got a little aggressive here probably with Iroha's LD. I should have very likely hung on to that. As you can see, here comes the orb. I should have used this on A, or I should have used Garland's EX on A to bring him down. That probably would have got him pretty close and let Seifer kind of take care of the rest of them. If I would have gotten them to turn on the orb at the same time, I think that might have given me a little bit better trick coming up, because as you can see here, or what I'm about to do here is about to make another little kind of shift, because my plan was to use the Shiva summon to take care of the orb a little later on. So I'm kind of taking my time here because I'm thinking I might or I might not need it. And here I made the decision, you know what? Let's just go and see if I can do this without the summon and see how this goes. And this is where I'm really kind of wishing. Now here comes the orb for him, or for A. I realize I'm kind of running on the clock here. And that was kind of that last delay, was to decide whether or not I was going to do it or not to bring in the Kurosame call. So I'm definitely doing it here because I know I got to get the enchant up for the ice. This is where I made a significant mistake, in that I forgot Kurosame's call, or call effect, is only 3 turns. I thought it was 6. So I'm going into this thing right now thinking I got plenty of time. I'm going to get the orb here. As you can see, this is the big part. All that defense down stacking. Garland's LD takes care of this third one. I mean, just really just puts it out of the park here with that. I'm going to be able to take care of A here with Seifer, and I'm going after the Purge just to make sure I got enough firepower to take care of this. So I've got the delay. I'm going to be getting a full orb here with Kurosame. and the Kurosami's debuff. And now I'm just thinking to myself, all right, here we go. So when I realized I had 3, it was like, oh, all right, well, I'm just going to have to, I'll have Kurosami's debuff up. I'll be able to use the summon. And then I decided kind of about this time, you know what? Let's see if I can do this without the summon. So to be honest, this is where I would say the race begins. So I'm debating right now as to whether or not to use the AA, to use the last LD that Iroha has. So I'm thinking to myself, it's going to really depend upon, because Garland here, as you can see, he's the guy who can really bring the damage for what we're working on and what we're looking at here with this. So Seifer's not doing bad damage here, but he's doing, he's getting a little bit in there. But as you can see, I kind of got a long way to go. Good news here, I'm saying to myself, hey, I've got the Shiva summon in the back pocket if I need it. And it's kind of where I'm debating right here, because I know this is the last time I'm going to have Kurosami's. So it's like, okay, what can I do here? Wanted to maximize the damage as much as I could on A. So pretty much at this point, the race is beginning. This is why I'm going to use my last LD here to try to maximize as much damage as I can, because my thought process now is, okay, if I can get their HP percentage lower than the orb, then I felt pretty good that I was going to have it. So that's where I'm kind of going here. All right, we're going to rush it one more time and try to see just how much I can get with Iroha and Seifer being as strong or not as strong as Garland. So I decided here, okay, 20%, we're going to use one Seifer LD. Going to use my freebie here with the round edge to make sure I get enough firepower and enough damage on one. I decide that, hey, I don't have any more delay. Can't waste anything on the AA. Really kind of wanted to, but I was also close enough that it wasn't going to be that big a deal. And thankfully here with that, I'm going to get a huge chunk of damage here with Garland's EX with what I have. Going to get Seifer's EX here. And then I'm able to thankfully get, thankfully I'm going to be able to get Iroha's EXs here, make them useful. As you can see, I'm kind of getting close. I'm thinking I've got a shot here, but I know this is going to get tight. Again, I knew I had that summon, so I wouldn't say I was stressing. But I was like, come on, I want to get this thing. I want to get this. So as you can see, I kind of started jumping over to the heavier ones. I get down to about 10%, so here comes Seifer's last LD. Again, trying to get as much damage as I can. Iroha with her big hit coming right here. And at this point, I kind of come to the realization, because I'm down to Iroha's skills. I'm going to be down to Seifer's skills. Here I am with no more LDs, and I'm just right on top of the orb. I've got to, so I started going with S2 because I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get a little bit more damage here with S2. Probably should have used that a little bit more often than the round edge. That one would have been just a little bit better. Because you can see I can get a ton more damage here. But again, here we are to 5, and I'm thinking, okay, what do I got? There's the LD. Oop, no LD. So I was like, all right, here, let's use the S1 because it's going to be, at this point, a little bit stronger. And at this point, I kind of breathed a sigh of relief with Garland's EX popping up because I said, okay, that's going to really let me take A down. And I think it gets me down to 2. Yeah, 2 gets me down to 2. And then Seifer's going to take out A here. Leaves a little bit of room, and I went ahead and threw the kitchen sink at this guy with a little bit stronger S2 just to make sure this guy was dead. And there we go. So like I said, I was really pleased with myself because I did this. No burst, no bringing in a friend, no activating of the summon. I really, really like this, especially because I didn't research the if you stacked so much defense down, like I said, it was 3 defense downs, Amit Italian, Jack, Seifer's defense with the foul debuff was the defense downs you got there, and that allowed me to get through those defense spikes without having to use any kind of gravity or defense ignore attack. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry, I know a lot of y'all, if you're going to look at this, it'll be late, but I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.